If you're wondering why your mixes aren't the best they can be, I've got 3 things to keep in mind. Let's hop into those. Inside Studio One here, we have a session pulled up. We have all of our tracks recorded. Everything is good to go. Now, there's a lot going on here. The first thing we want to do is get a template. Now, with templates, it just helps you clean up your space. It organizes everything by instrument parts. And if you don't have a template and you use Studio One, head to floodwaterstudios.com/template and pick up a free template set up for mixing. So we want to take what we have here. So we have everything labeled. We're going to grab all of our drums, and we are going to take our drums and we are going to drag and drop them into the drums folder. Now we're going to do the same thing with everything else as well. Now these are technically percussion, so we're going to put them all in drums also. And then we're going to grab our bass, even though it's only one track, into the folder. It goes all of our electric guitars. We're going to grab here into the electric folder. All of our acoustics. We're going to bring down here into our acoustics folder. We're going to take our vocals. Now the vocals we're going to treat a little differently. We have our regular Vox, and then we have our harmonies. We're going to add those to background vocals. So now we can see we got a couple left. These are going to go into our keys. So kind of auxiliary instruments, software instruments, everything that's not audio recording. So now we have our template. If we collapse all these folders, look how clean this looks. We've got just a few things up on the screen. If we go into our mix tab now, we've only got these groups that we have. Now you can click the folder here. We get back into our individual tracks. So the first thing we want to do now, after we've organized our session, which takes literally just, you saw, a few seconds here. Second thing we want to do is we want to level mix. Now, what level mixing is? No plugins whatsoever. We're not touching any plugins. There's 2 things that we're going to touch. We're going to touch volume and we're going to touch panning. We're just going to get the best sound we can with the raw tracks that we have. So the 2 places that I usually start when I'm doing this level mix is with drums and with the bass. Now, this specific song is one of my songs that I put out last Christmas. So the drums, you can see, they don't come in until about halfway through the song. So there's some exceptions to the rule here, but usually starting with drums and bass is going to give you the punch for everything. You're going to set that tone for the whole tune for everything itself. All right, so I have what I think is a pretty good level mix right here for the drums and the bass together. So let's take a listen here to what I've done with just some, like I said, we're just panning and we've just messed with volumes for everything. So we messed with the volumes of the drum kit itself, and then with the bass, just to kind of make everything hit that groove, hit that feel that we're looking for. Probably give the bass just a little bit more life in there. So now that we have the drums and the bass sounding really good, now we can start bringing in the other instruments as well. So I'm going to bring in the electrics, and these are pretty loud. They were recorded not very conservatively. So let's listen here. I know we're going to have to come in to the actual recordings from the amp itself. So we have an AC-15 that we recorded with a ribbon microphone and a 57. So we're just going to pull these down. In fact, another trick that you can kind of do is if you pull everything down and just bring them up one at a time so you can hear what it's doing, what it's providing to the song itself, and then see where you need to, make those changes. Now, one thing I want to point out here is if you're finding that it was recorded too hot and you're down here in the -15 area, instead of losing some definition here, if we get these up and we can go over to the actual trim knob up here, the input gain, start pulling that down so we keep our fader definition for everything. So I think that's sounding pretty good there. And now we're going to bring in the acoustic tracks. This last acoustic track was just something at the end, so we're just going to really focus on this guy right here. So we're going to bring him up. We have already set ourselves up for a great sounding mix, literally with volume and pan. The third thing we want to look at is vocals last. I know that we want to hop right into that vocal mix and we want to produce that vocal out to the best it can, but we need to look at things in context. So if we get a great sounding band track for the entire song, and then we bring the vocals in on top of it, we can make them fit inside the song instead of trying to make the song fit the vocals. I hope these 3 simple steps help you. Now, I know there's a couple things to do inside those steps, but keeping focused with what we're doing, getting the best mix that we can, and getting it done pretty quickly is key to everything. Again, get yourself a template. If you don't have one and you use Studio One, head to floodwaterstudios.com/template. Get that for free, sent right to your email. Do your level mix. Don't touch any plugins at all. I know it's hard. I love plugins too. Just do volume and panning. Make things sound the best that they absolutely can. Don't mess anything up at the beginning. And then don't touch your vocals until last. Again, hope you have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. Until then, go record something. See ya.